Welcome to the blog again. Some more prognostications for the coming year, meaning the Oracle fiscal year, which began on June 1st and will go to May 31st, 2011. We think that the number of Oracle license audits will only increase in the coming year. Listen, a lot of the other software companies have been doing a lot of auditing. IBM, Microsoft, especially through its proxies, that is to say the oligarchy, the oligopoly of the 15 or so LARs, that are out there. After all, they are ultimately paid by Microsoft to do these audits, so make no mistake, Microsoft is behind it, kind of like the Godfather pulling the strings. And you have Adobe, who is very aggressive in audits, and we're hearing increasingly from our client base, Adobe knocking on the door and asserting, it's right to do that. The confusing thing about Adobe is that some of the software is actually free. That is to say, you have Adobe Reader, right? So when somebody sends you a PDF, there's the reader that enables you to read that. So just in and of itself, that creates confusion as to, well, what's free and what has to be paid for. But coming back to Adobe, they're doing audits like crazy. And of course, Oracle, right? And again, as I will say in defense of Oracle, and I'll say in defense of all of the software giants, there's a huge investment of time, money, and energy in getting these software products just and so. And in doing so, there's a lot of false starts, like the pharmaceutical companies, where they've got a lot of drugs in the pipeline. Very few of them ultimately get FDA approval, and even there, few from there really get great market acceptance. But they've got to live on those big blockbusters. So it's kind of, to use a baseball metaphor, it's a game of slugging percentage, right? It's how many times that you touch all the bases. That makes the difference. So it is with with creating new software products, and the making of software is very expensive. You've got very highly skilled, highly trained knowledge workers, right? Remember, Peter Drucker gave us that term some years ago, the term knowledge worker. So what do you have? You've got these mathematicians, these software engineers, physicists, people that are really brainy, the real left brainers out there, putting together these software products with the right brainers that are marketing and overall managing these people, making sure that this software gets out to market and the market knows of it, all the rest of that stuff. So Oracle, of course, wants to, protect that investment and to maximize that investment. Your job is to make sure that you're compliant with Oracle and make sure that you're compliant before they knock on the door. Because frankly, you're not going to have the same kind of leverage if you are discovered to be out of compliance. Those great sexy discounts that you so crave will not be there if Oracle knows that you have no other choice. And again, that stays the same with Adobe, with IBM, with Microsoft, or any of the others. So make sure that you stay ahead of the curve and be compliant. Now, how do you remain compliant? You either do it in-house, and that is to say you do an audit once a year. And when you do that audit, what are we talking about? We're talking about taking a look at where have you deployed all of the software and understanding that. And typically that's on an Excel spreadsheet. It could be on a Visio. There are companies out there that for a pretty penny, perhaps, will install the software and collect all that data. Regardless, you need to know where you've deployed it. And then you need to compare that against what are your license entitlements. And that's looking at the contract. And that becomes a reconciliation between what are your entitlement rights versus what you've actually deployed. What I do recommend is, if you can't do that on the inside, and very often outside experts, yes, like Miro, can help you connect those dots because we understand what the dots mean in a very intimate type of way. And that this kind of service will ultimately always pay for itself, because being out of compliance is rather expensive. Because again, an Adobe comes in, they want the big bucks. And they know they have you, because where else are you going to go at that point? They've caught you, if you will, dead to rights, or an Oracle, or a Microsoft. So it's good business to be in the practice of staying compliant and staying ahead of any software audit. My name is Scott Rosenberg, founder, CEO of Miro Consulting. We help companies understand and ultimately to negotiate their Oracle, Microsoft, and Adobe software licensing. Thanks for joining me today.